People quite often think that when you're bulking, you just kind of eat whatever the fuck is it that you want to eat, and as long as you hit your protein, you can just like eat as much junk as you want. But that's not really the case. At least that's not really the case if you want to have like a actual proper bulk where you do the things that you should be doing and where you make it reasonable. And there are a few different ways you can do this. You can be more reasonable, you can be less reasonable, and you can like be absolutely ridiculous when it comes to the stuff that you eat. And I'm somewhere in the middle, because the thing that I would do is I would still eat the normal diet food that I eat on a daily basis, like solid, good quality food. And that would be basically like 80% of the stuff that I eat during the day. So the only thing that I would do when I'm bulking, I set the baseline of calories higher, but basically with the same food that I would eat on a diet, on a cutting phase. So the only difference is I eat the same diet food, but more. So for an example, instead of eating like 2000 calories, I eat like 3000 calories of the same food. But then the thing that I do on top of it is just I eat kind of whatever the fuck is it that I want to eat. And I try to be as reasonable as I possibly can be. But at the end of it, I just kind of eat whatever. So as long as I get in the 3000 calories that I should be eating, I'm fine, and I can kind of add whatever it is that I want to add on top of it. So for an example, today I consumed all the reasonable food that I had to. So I ate 3000 calories in like normal solid food. And then at the end of the day, I just bought sushi. I added like rice cakes on top of it. So like kind of whatever it is that I want to eat. And that works quite well because yeah, you can go down the road of like trying to like really calculate the calories and just like do small incremental increases in calories. But for me, a bulking season is also like the time where I kind of get to relax a little bit and where I don't need to be as strict with my food as I normally am. Because if your cutting phases are going to be like strict, and if you're going to be like very locked in with those, I kind of feel like you should be eating a little bit of what is it that you want to eat when you're bulking. But once again, at the end of the day, it is going to be a part where it's going to be a job and where you're going to consume the food that you should be consuming in the amount in which you should be consuming it. So if you need 3000 calories of food, you're going to eat 3000 calories of solid food. And if you need a little bit over 200 grams of protein, you are going to be consuming this protein from good solid sources. And some days that is going to be everything you eat and you're not going to add anything on top of it because you don't feel like it. And then some days you are going to add some junk on top of it. Then maybe on the weekends you're going to go like really crazy from time to time and add like a lot of shit on top of it. So kind of like dependent on what is it that you like to eat and how much food are you normally craving. But yeah, like for you, there should be like a solid base of food that makes sense that you eat on a day-to-day basis and you never change that. And then on top of it, you could kind of have a little bit of like room to add stuff, to remove stuff, and basically just kind of do the things that you feel like doing. So that is my approach when it comes to bulking. And it works quite well. I can pack on quite a lot of size. If I feel like I want to pack on more size, I can add a little bit more junk because that is something that is always quite easy to add. But also I wouldn't suggest that you get like super big during your bulking phase because first of all, you're going to stretch out your skin. And then afterwards, when you're going to lose weight, it's going to look bad. And then on top of it, if you're just going to accumulate a lot of weight during your bulking phase, yeah, sure, you're also going to gain quite a lot of muscle, most probably. But still, you're going to lose a part of that muscle as you're going to be going down. And the downside of it is going to be that you are going to have to lose a lot of weight to be as lean as you want to be. So for an example, like if you go up to like over 200 pounds, but normally you were like 175, then yeah, no, it's not going to be great. It is going to be a pretty shitty experience because you are going to have to starve yourself for extended periods of time. So in my opinion, there is always a benefit in not getting bigger than you have to. And obviously, if you've had a rough cutting phase, you are going to be a little bit ridiculous during the bulk and you are going to gain some fat, but try to like keep it on the low and try to keep it as little as humanly possible. And don't jump into a diet where you're kind of hitting your protein goals, but everything is just like absolute junk. That is not really going to end up being a good thing. Yeah, thank you guys for watching the video and see you guys in the next one.